What if I told you the 10 plagues weren't originally 10? The number isn't accidental, it's not even original. Ancient editors wove together multiple traditions into one of the most carefully structured narratives in the Bible. The blood red Nile, the frogs, the darkness, these weren't randomly collected. They were deliberately arranged, and once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. Moses returns to Egypt after the burning bush theophany, God's dramatic self-revelation. What follows is a contest, God versus Pharaoh, Moses and Aaron versus Egyptian magicians. This is our boys versus your boys folklore with theological stakes. The question isn't just who wins, it's whose God is real. Each plague demonstrates Yahweh's supremacy over Egypt's deities. The Nile god can't protect the water, the sun god can't prevent darkness. Scholars have identified something remarkable in this text. The final version merges multiple written traditions, source criticism, the method of identifying these combined traditions, reveals three main strands. The J source, named for its use of Yahweh, contains 8 plagues. The E source has 3. The P source, the priestly tradition, has 5. Some plagues appear in multiple sources. No single tradition contained all 10. The final editor combined them, and the number 10, a number of completeness in biblical literature like the 10 Commandments, emerged from this combination. 10 wasn't the starting point, it was the destination. Here's where the literary artistry becomes unmistakable. The editor didn't just pile plagues together, they organized them into 3 sets of 3 plus a climatic tense. Each set follows the same internal pattern. The first plague in each set, forewarned morning setting, introduced with present yourself before Pharaoh. The second plague, forewarned, introduced with go to Pharaoh. The third plague, no warning, no introduction, it just strikes. This creates a rhythm. Won't strike, won't strike, won't strike. Then the devastating finale, blood, frogs, lice form, set 1. Insects, livestock disease, boils form, set 2. Hail, locusts, darkness form, set 3. The death of the firstborn stands alone. Look at the forewarning pattern across all 9 plagues before the finale. In every set, the pattern repeats identically. First plague of each set, warning given, morning setting, present yourself formula. Second plague, warning given, go to Pharaoh formula. Third plague, no warning at all, lice strikes without announcement, boil strikes without announcement, darkness strikes without announcement. This isn't coincidence, this is editorial design. 3 cycles of escalating tension, each ending with an unannounced blow, and the reader learns to anticipate the rhythm and dread the third beat. Watch the escalation within and across sets. Set 1 attacks comfort, water becomes undrinkable, frogs invade homes, lice infest bodies. Set 2 attacks property and health, insects swarm, livestock die, boils erupt on skin. Set 3 attacks survival itself, hail destroys crops, locusts devour what remains, darkness paralyzes the land. Each set intensifies, each plague within a set intensifies. The narrative builds towards something catastrophic. By the time darkness falls over Egypt for 3 days, the audience knows something terrible is coming. The pattern has trained them to expect it. The death of the firstborn isn't arbitrary divine violence. The text frames it as measure for measure justice, in Hebrew, midah keneged midah, meaning the punishment corresponds precisely to the crime. Remember Pharaoh's decree in Exodus chapter 1. Every son that is born to the Hebrews you shall cast into the Nile. Egypt killed Hebrew infants. Now read Exodus 4:22. Israel is my firstborn son. I said to you, let my son go that he may serve me. You refused. Now I will slay your firstborn son. The punishment mirrors the crime. God's firstborn was threatened. Egypt's firstborn will die. The Israelites don't just escape, they perform a ritual. Each household slaughters a lamb and marks their doorpost with its blood. 2 vertical posts and the horizontal lintel above. The angel of death passes over these marked homes. And the Hebrew word is Pesach, Passover. The pun works in both Hebrew and English. Inside, families eat unleavened bread. There's no time to let dough rise. Right? Haste defines the meal. This isn't just narrative detail. It's liturgical instruction embedded in story. The text tells you what happened and simultaneously tells you how to commemorate it. Every year at Passover, Jews reenact this moment. The Seder meal follows a specific order. Seder means order in Hebrew. Unleavened bread, bitter herbs, the retelling of the story. Children ask questions, adults answer with a narrative. We were slaves in Egypt and God brought us out. The structure and the theology become living memory. The ancient editorial work, combining sources, arranging plagues, embedding ritual, created something designed for repetition. The text isn't just read, it's performed, it's eaten, it's passed from generation to generation. What does this mean for reading ancient texts? The plagues narrative teaches us to look for structure, ask, what's the pattern? The 3x3+1 arrangement reveals intentional design. Ask, what traditions might be combined here? Source criticism shows the final text emerged from multiple streams. Ask, what theological point is the final form making? And the measure for measure logic and the Passover ritual answer that question. These aren't random questions. They're the questions the text rewards. The plagues aren't just a story about what happened in Egypt, and they're an argument about divine justice carefully constructed across generations of tradition. The number 10 wasn't where the tradition started, it was where the tradition arrived. Multiple sources, each with their own plague accounts, were woven together by editors who cared about literary form. They created a 3x3+1 structure with consistent forewarning patterns. They framed the climax as measure for measure justice. They embedded ritual instructions that would outlast empires. The result, a narrative designed to be remembered, performed, and passed down for 3,000 years. The next time you read an ancient text, look for the themes and the design. The themes show you the history, multiple traditions, editorial hands, layers of composition. The design shows you the intention, structure that teaches, patterns that stick, theology embedded in narrative form. And the plagues of Egypt weren't just recorded, they were crafted, and that craftsmanship still speaks.